Ladies and gentlemen, bass players around the world, bass players from Maryland, bass players from New York, all over the world, bass players, welcome to the basement, except we're not in the basement this time. So welcome to Detroit Bass Players in the Token Lounge. That's T-O-K-E-N Lounge.
Yeah.
And we're here with a master bassist. Tell us your name, sir.
My name is Mike Pope.
Mike Pope, you're an extraordinary bass player. First of all, I want to thank you for doing this interview. Wish we could have got you in the basement, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wish we had time.
Because we get some legends down in the basement. You're not old enough to be a legend yet, is you?
I don't think so. No.
When I
think to be a legend. I think people gotta forget about me and then remember me again, and then I'm a legend.
Okay, at this point you're a master bassist. I've noticed, I've seen the stuff personally, and the first question I'd like to ask you is, when did you start playing the bass and why?
Wow, that could be a long answer, so I'll keep it kind of condensed. I started when I was about 11, and my brother Dave is a guitar player, and we used to lift tunes off of Pat Metheny records and play together like on acoustic guitars. Yeah, but we play together, you know, I would steal like bass lines and stuff off of records, but so I kind of just had a proclivity to doing that, and I grew up in a musical family. We had a piano in the house, and everybody played, and I would you know, make my little arrangements of songs, and I always was playing chords and bass lines. I always just found interesting bass lines, so I just whatever, it just seemed to make sense. So then my dad bought me a bass, and that was that.
That's awesome. I forgot to mention. Also hanging out with us is Reginald Canty. Thank you for coming to hang out. Actually, this wouldn't be possible without Reggie. So I didn't want to keep you. I know you just did your sound check, and you guys were playing my favorite song by Frank. For those who don't know, Frank Gambale. How you pronounce it? Gambale is. And now we play Dee's Living Room at the Token Lounge with Frank Gambale, Dennis Chambers on drums, Sean Whalen on keyboards, and none other than Mike Pope on bass.
Cool.
And of course, the TV tell you the name of the song is Dee's Living Room with Frank Gambale.
Yeah.
And then I was like, who is that on the bass? Duetting with him on the nice runs, and it was Alan Karan. Yeah. So you're here with him tonight. Mm-hmm. Now this thing is just staring me right in the face. It's almost calling me. What is that? A Fedora?
Yes, Fedora. Yeah. This is my signature model, Viceroy Fedora. It's based. It's kind of based on a Fedora Emperor, but it's got a few fancy features like this removable fingerboard that comes off here. So when I want to really get into the thumb, which I don't do a lot, but when I do, I want it to sound right. So when I want to really get into the thumb, that makes a really, really big difference.
I saw that on the Eskimo tour when you were a chick, and I saw that little piece on the end.
Yeah, that's what that is. And it's also got this sliding pickup. So if I kind of want to go for like a more of a 70s kind of a jazz bass thing, I can go back here to the 60s. I can go up there, and I can go different spots for soloing and whatever too. So I usually when I solo, I usually push it all the way forward so it's warmer.
And you helped design that as well, right? This bass.
Yeah. I mean, I consulted on the. I had ideas that Vinny Fedora realized them. I designed the electronics. The preamps, Fedora's been using my preamps pretty much exclusively for, I guess, about 20 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, getting back to this bass thing, like I said, you are considered a master bass player. Also, you teach, right? In instructions, instructor. I mean, who are some of your favorite bass players growing up, all the way up to now? condensed, I guess.
My favorite bass players, the older I got, the simpler the bass players that I like played. You know, I started off like loving the cats that just shredded, and as I got older and older, I started to appreciate Anthony Jackson and Bootsy and the guys that played real simple. But I've drawn from everything, man. I used to play along with Rush records when I was a kid, and I'm a huge Geddy Lee fan. But of course, Jocko was a huge influence. John Patitucci's been an enormous influence on electric and acoustic bass, and a really, I guess, advocate over the years. Marcus Miller's a huge impact. Especially when I heard him on that Wayne Shorter record on High Life, I was like, man, that's some of the best bass playing I ever heard, period. So a lot of electric players, a lot of acoustic players. I'm a big Ron Carter fan, a huge Ray Brown fan.
A Detroit bass player?
Yeah, and I grew up listening to Ralph Armstrong on all the Jean Lapani records.
Another Detroit bass player.
Yeah, no, I know Ralph was bad. I was in town a few years back with Eldar, the Russian pianist, and we went to a club after the gig, and lo and behold, it was Ralph. I don't remember who he was playing with, but he was playing, he was killing it. So we hung out a little bit.
Folks, if you don't know who Mike Pope is, go to his website. What is your website, sir?
MikePopeJazz.com, www.mikepopejazz.com.
And check out his body of work. I've seen videos of you with some of my favorite artists other than bass players, like Chick Corea. Mm-hmm. And it don't get no better than that. Yeah. Chick Corea was with Stanley Clarke. Same time I learned about Jocko was when I learned about Stanley Clarke. Yeah. And it was from Weather Report and Return to Forever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The bass world was exploding right about that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you played with Chick Corea. Now you're playing with the great Frank Gambale. And
but it was together when he was playing with Chick.
That's true. Frank was in that band too. That was the first time we played together.
Yeah, and all kinds of other artists that are great. I mean, the great ones. Do you get to play like simple gigs, like maybe a R&B set or a rock set or a country set?
To be honest, it's one of the most fun things for me to do. It's like I do these wedding dates around DC, Baltimore area because you know the drummers in the bands that I play with are good, and I'm perfectly, actually it's kind of a relief to just put on my groove hat and not ever have to play a solo and not ever have to play anything hard and just like zen out. It's like I get to work on my sound and work on playing 4 notes in a row that all feel good with nothing else around me. It's like when you listen to Ray Brown walk a bass line for a chorus and a half a dozen of quarter notes. You're like, well, that's hard.
I can imagine getting that phone call from people like Chick Corea and Frank. Is like, oh, I gotta play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I gotta play because they ain't playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I didn't want to keep you, man, but I just want to mention a couple of things. North Texas State.
Yeah.
Do they have a good music program? Because I hear so many musicians. They come out of North Texas State, but it's not known for it, and that's the school you went to, right?
Yeah, I mean, North Texas has historically been a really high end, high end, it's not really, it's just a state school, but the program there has been very high end, and music program, and they've generated a lot of really good jazz musicians. I mean, guys from Lyle Mays and Steve Bailey and
Dave Love. I don't know if you know who Dave Love is, but he can.
Dave Love, yeah, I do. I mean, the list goes on and on. I can't. In fact, a couple friends of mine are here from North Texas now. Rob Esherian and Eric Noctrow. I don't know if you know Eric, but Eric's a great bass player. He lives in the area. They're both Detroit guys.
Man,
I guess maybe they're Ann Arbor guys. I'm not sure.
We still call it Detroit. If you go out of town or out the country, where you from, you have to say Detroit.
Yeah.
And then you can say Inkster, you know, after you.
Yeah.
Because they might have heard it, Inkster, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But look, man, tell those guys they need to come and be on the show because we trying to interview every single last bass player from Detroit and the surrounding areas. and like yourself, those who come through Detroit. I'm trying to kidnap everybody.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this interview with us. Again, I'm gonna let you go right now, and if we wanted to take lessons with you, do we go to your website or do you have an email?
Yeah, you can just you can email me through my website. You know, it's mike@mikepopejazz.com.
I'm gonna take you up on that one, man.
Yeah, that's totally doable. And I teach at Berkeley, at the Berkeley College of Music in Boston
How
too.
do you balance those two things, doing this and that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to do some makeups because I missed. You know what? I got lucky to be in this tour. The first 2 days of classes this semester, the gigs were in New Hampshire and Boston.
Oh, okay, right there.
So I was like, cool, man. So I had to take a $150 Uber from New Hampshire to Boston, but I went and did most of my teaching days, you know, so it was cool, and I just really had to miss this one day. So yeah, I mean, so it's doable. It's a lot, you know, but it's doable. And I got a record date coming up soon too. I'm really looking forward to with Jeff Watts and Jeff Tane Watts and Henry Hay, and Dino Gavoni is a tenor player from the Boston area, and he's a brilliant player. And Alexander Sipiagin, I don't know if you know this real Russian guy that he's one of the heavies now, one of the young heavy jazz trumpet players. So.
And we can purchase your albums through
Through my website.
Everything is there at your website?
Everything's there. Yeah, everything's there. I think you can download them, and I'm pretty sure you have the option of buying and having one shipped, but I'm not actually not positive. My wife set that up. You know.
Okay, so
she doesn't tell me everything, so.
So you got one.
Yeah, no, listen, believe me, I'm lucky.
So bass players, like I said, bass players around the world.
One little question though. You know, I know you design preamps. I know what installed is a dual core preamp, but my bass is like 7 years old. Have you produced anything newer than that since like 7 years ago? And how did you get them?
Well, the preamp thing kind of fell in my lap as a byproduct of my relationship with Federa, it was just kind of one of those. You know, hey, you know how to build a preamp? Yeah, I know how to build a preamp. No, I know how to build a preamp. You know, and then I kind of figured it out, and we kind of went from there. It's grown, but then as it evolved, it kind of really came into its own. And yeah, but I think I did the FlexCore. It's been at least 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I haven't done anything really appreciably new since.
Okay, well, I'll get another bass main hot ready to touch in there.
Oh, cool, good. Well, call me, man. You know, let me know. Yeah.
All right, like I said, I didn't want to keep you up. We appreciate you doing this interview. Bass players around the world, if you want to step your game up, this is one of the guys that can guide you in that direction. If you really want to step your game up. And in closing, man, come on in. In closing.
Well, there's not really enough seats.
Well, we're about done.
Oh, you're doing the thing. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We just got.
We'll sit out here.
I'll be around outside.
Right.
Have a seat.
In closing, normally we have somebody play us out, but folks, they're going to allow me to record one of the songs of the show, a portion of it. So we're going to use that as a close.
Cool.
But is there anything you'd like to say in closing before we show that clip?
Detroit has such a long, incredibly rich history musically, and particularly with jazz, jazz and R&B, and the bass players. You know, I mean,
We finding that out.
I mean, you know, I'm honored that you asked me to come and do this, because you know, I grew up in Bowling Green, Ohio, you know, and I was playing in the Toledo circuit all the time, and I remember doing gigs at Pistol Alley, you know, when I was a kid, you know, when I was like 16, 17 years old. With there was a piano organ player guy from here named Bill Hyde. I don't know if you guys ever ran across him, but he was here for many years, and now he's in the DC area. But he and I, he's like a guy that would make Larry Young run for the hills. He's just swinging. I mean, he's just really killing. I remember doing gigs at this. I think it was called somewhere up in Fenton. I think like the Michigan Bean Company or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember what it was called. It was just like this little restaurant or something, and just doing gigs at that with Pistol and swinging his ass off. That was amazing. It was all upright, you know, straight ahead. But So anyway, but yeah, I'm really honored to be here, man. I appreciate you reaching out, and I'm glad
This is
to.
yes, when we finally meet you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Big Eye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Pope.